and I was telling him like somebody knocking on your door. And before I could really finish that, the door swung open. And they had guns, rifles drawn on us, y'all, lights. It was action. Okay. And I'm laying here pregnant. Like, what is going on? Hey y'all, it's me P and I'm back with another video. If you're new here, hey, how you doing? Welcome to the family. If you're not, thank you so much for coming back. Y'all, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time I drop a fire video. So as y'all can see by the title, this is part 3 of my divorcing at 31, getting married in the prison at 23, story time. Part 3. So if you have not seen part 1 and part 2, please pause this, go back, watch part 1 and part 2, then come back to part 3 so you can have the full effect of what's going on here. I'm a family channel. I do family things. I do have a new relationship. The relationship isn't very new, but I mean, we've been together for just about 6 years now, and happy. My kids are happy. Everybody's happy. With that being said, I'm gonna get into the video. One more thing, I will drop some receipts in this video. I will drop a couple pictures so y'all can see. I will blur out my daughter's face and my ex's face. So y'all know in this video, in this story time, his name is Dude. I'm not sharing his real name. His name is Dude, and he is from Louisiana. He's from a small town in Louisiana. I said that in part 2. So I left off at me and him agreeing to make a child after being separated from each other for about 4 years. Yeah, 4 years. He went to jail. I went to college. He popped up out of nowhere. We decided to have a child, and I got pregnant like first try, right? Now, I was one of those girls that thought I couldn't get pregnant, that it would be hard for me, and I'm only 21 at the time, y'all, and I had never tried to get pregnant. I tried not to, but you know, and I was on birth control. I wasn't that sexually active. I'm gonna be totally honest with that, because I did not want to get pregnant. I didn't want a big body count. I had partners, and that's my personal business, but I just wasn't that girl. So yeah, everybody was surprised to see me pregnant, and I was really happy about it, because like I said, he was somebody that I had known, and I just came to the point where I even told my mom that it doesn't matter. I want the baby. I want my baby. I want to start my family. I was even ready to be without a father for my child. And I say this, and I'm going to say that, and that's so crazy, because it happened. It actually happened temporarily. Thank God, temporarily. I had to repent, y'all, but we going to get into that soon. You know, he was happy. I remember taking the test. I was with my cousin, and I took a test, and then my grandmother was in the hospital at the time, so I actually took a test again at the hospital where she was, and because it was getting real bad. So I wanted her to know that I was pregnant. I wanted her to at least know, and I still had hopes that she would make it through, but my grandmother ended up not making it. So on February the 20th, I was able to tell my grandmother, and I looked at her, and she was going into like a cardiac arrest, y'all, but she smiled at me. I told her, I said, Grandma, I'm pregnant. I just took a pregnancy test, and she smiled at me, and that made me feel so good, you know. So the day of my grandmother's funeral, he rented a car. So at first, you know, it was like perfect. He's renting a car to come in because we lived an hour away from New Orleans. So he got a rental car to come with me to the funeral, and I really thought that was super special at the time. But it wasn't really about me. The rental car wasn't really about me. And I found that out throughout the day just with his actions. So all of these, everything I'm about to say should have been red flags. The ride there, his friend, he brought his friend with him. This friend was supposed to be like his security. Okay, that was real weird. I didn't want to spend that day with his friend. I had never been around his friend. I had never met his real friends or family or anything. Up until like these weeks of being pregnant for him. And this was in February, and I told y'all that we got back together in December. So it's only been 3 months. You know, they was smoking and stuff, and I'm pregnant. I'm like, we're not going party, y'all. But you know, I'm like, okay, people do that on funerals. I look past that. So we made it there. Oh, I drove. They didn't know how to get there, so I had to drive. That was another thing. I'm like, okay, I'm driving. Okay, whatever. We followed my mom. We had to stop at her office, and I'm just thinking about this. Like, we had to stop at her office, so my mom, my mom did a lot of the arrangements. So she stopped to get like the recording of her slideshow of her pictures and everything, and she had printed out the programs and everything. And that was like, he had an attitude because we had to stop there, and I was telling him like, this is my school, this is where I go. And he was not amused. He was like, this looked like a high school. And I'm like, what? Like, his whole reaction was just disrespectful. Like, you should be, oh, that's beautiful, baby. On a day like that, especially, at least fake it. So that was one thing that I didn't even think of until this moment. And so we left there, and it was like, I don't like this riding around all around the city. And I mean, you know how dudes like that is. He have this aura like as if he should have had things on him, and we got him in the hood, and oh, she getting this in the hood, and it's like a joke to him. Like, we're literally on the way to my grandmother's funeral. But I wanted it to be perfect so bad that I'm looking past all of this. I'm ignoring all of these red flags. I just want to drown that out and try to get through this day. So we make it there. Again, I'm driving, and they have, like, you know how they have the little stopper, the little concrete stopper when you parking in a parking space? The car went over it, so it scraped under the car. He flipped. Okay. It was a light flip, but he had words to say instead of it's okay. It should have just been okay. But he had words to say. He shouldn't have said anything. This is crazy. I can't believe I'm really this deep into this part. This is only one part. Let me go. There's a lot of red flags. We left Louisiana about 7, and he went on about his way. He dropped me off at home. I could have stayed by my family. I could have stayed there until whatever time everybody else stayed, but I left early. And he dropped me off at home instead of staying with me to make sure I was okay. Pregnant with his child, grieving for my grandmother. So I didn't even realize that till just now. So as time went on, a few weeks passed, we tried to go to a doctor's appointment. We had another situation where he wanted to drive, and his parents didn't want him to drive because he didn't have a license. And of course, he had just gotten out of jail, so they was just trying to protect him. And he got an attitude, and he was like, well, I'm not going, we not going. So I'm like, this the first doctor's appointment. So I called my mama to tell her what was going on, because I'm 21. I call my mama for everything to this day. He felt disrespected because I called my mama, and he pushed me. Y'all, when I tell y'all I two-piece this dude, like, I two-piece dude reacted in a way that I thought was him. I really thought, like, he was so, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I'll never do it again. I'm sorry. It's like, I'm just thinking, I can't even look at the camera straight because I'm just thinking, like, what were you thinking? Girl. So, he did not go, yo. He did not go. His father brought me to the appointment. I think after that, I was just over it. I was just like, I'm gone. And he could have ran behind me. He could have gotten a car. That was his choice to stay home. He did not go. And that was weird. That was crazy. So we got back and we had these we talked, and it was like, pillow talk. It was still like, oh, I'm just so sorry. And how was the appointment? I didn't get to hear my baby's heartbeat for the first time. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. And he left. He would always leave, and I didn't pay attention to that. Like, you are really out here. What is going on out there? And I still was in school, y'all. I still would go by his house and go back and forth to school. And I had a lot of weird moments. We would get into it a lot, y'all. Now, this is only a few months. He got locked up when I was 5 months. And I'm now thinking, like, how did we have all of these bad situations in December, January, February, March, April, May? Because he left June 6th. 6 months. It was so much each month. I mean, fussing and fighting and disrespecting, like, making me feel small in front of his friends. And I'm ignoring it. Y'all, I'm ignoring it. My birthday, we went to the club. Fine. We went to a friend of mine's wedding reception. And then we went to the club for the after party. And I thought that was cool. That was my first time going out while I was pregnant. I didn't do much. I just stood around. And even then, it's like he was moving around a lot. He had somebody standing watching me. And we was just out with these dudes, and they just was. So, yeah, my birthday it was weird. And now that I'm thinking about it, we actually got into it that night, too, because we was sitting in the Huddle House. They didn't have Waffle House in that area. We was in, like, the Huddle House in Thibodeau, and they had these guys everywhere. First of all, I might have said this guy, but they had guys everywhere. But they had they had a guy sitting in the next booth next to us, and I don't know if he turned around and saw him looking in the direction that he should be looking because of the way he was sitting, and it was like, you looking at him? And I'm like, what? Like, he flipped out, y'all. So that was crazy. I'm just thinking about that. And we left. We ended up leaving. We was there for a good little minute, just chilling. And it was like 4 in the morning. I'm a 4 in the morning type of girl. I do like to be out. When I'm out, I want to be out. I'm not going out till about 11 anyway. So, even pregnant, that was fine with me. I didn't drink or anything, of course. If you do, that's your preference. I've seen it. That's not my thing. But I was out, and that ended my birthday night, him arguing about a guy. So it was always high and lows. Even if we have a good day, we would have a bad night, and then he'll coax it over with intimacy, and he'll start off good. It was always a roller coaster for those 6 months, and nobody knew. Nobody ever knows. You never tell anybody this because you know you're not going nowhere yet. Because you want to see how this gonna play out. It might not be that bad. He can't do this all the time. It's not gonna be that way forever. So you stay. I'm gonna fast forward to him getting arrested and see what I can go from there. So he gets arrested June 6th, 2013. My daughter was born October 8th, 2013. All of these dates after he left would replay every year. It would make me feel depressed. I didn't know that. I would turn my depression into happiness. I would do something extremely outrageously happy to make myself feel better, but I didn't know that was a form of depression. Because I wasn't really happy. It was still on my mind the whole time. I just wanted everything to go right, and it was stressful. I wanted that day to be perfect for whatever I chose to do, and it was stressful. It was stressful. We was asleep, and I heard a knock. The TV went off. Like it was like as if the lights went off. That's what woke me up because the sound from the TV went off. And I heard a knock. And I was telling him like somebody knocking on your door. And before I could really finish that, the door swung open. And they had guns, rifles drawn on us, y'all, lights. It was action. Okay. And I'm laying here pregnant. Like, what is going on? You cannot possibly tell me this is happening. Like, I can't believe to this day that happened to me. And to him, that's like, yeah, that happened. I could just see him now like, yeah, she was pregnant in my bed. You know, because that's the type of idiot he is. And I'm not bashing him, but that's idiot behavior. If you are a man, if you are a guy, if you know a guy, a man that think that is cool, you know, some people goals in life is to see these things happen so that they could talk about it. And that's you. Don't let that be, that's them. Don't let that be you. That's what I'm trying to say. And guys, if you watching, if a guy happen to watch this, I didn't see any guys watch it. But if you watch this and you got a guy around you, you know, don't let that be him. Because then that becomes you, and you don't want to be ending up in that situation, because it was a moment where the police could have tried to drag me into something that I had no idea was going on and what's going on at the capacity that they were saying it was going on. So the police came in and started reading him his rights, and you know, took us in the front, handcuffed everybody in the house, started throwing things around the house, looking for stuff they thought they was gonna find, whatever they thought they was gonna find. They didn't find anything in the house, y'all. But mind you, again, I'm pregnant. I have a belly at this moment. I'm poking out. They handcuffed me to the front. And wow, this happened. That happened to me. That happened to me. And I was so afraid for my child, because I thought at that moment I'm gonna lose her. I'm like, I'm gonna lose this baby, because I'm emotional. I did not cry the whole time the police was there. I was so angry. I just watched everything they did. I just wanted to take in every moment. Like, I could sit there and see what's going on right now. And for the privacy of his family, I'm not going to say too much about anything. But I just watched everything that happened in that moment. And I'm like, this is really going on in front of my face. And I have to sit here until it's over. I couldn't call nobody. I couldn't say nothing. If anything would have happened, you know, and that was before all of the stuff where like the police always have been aggressive with people, but that was before my knowledge, my seeing it really happening a lot. So I didn't have the big fear of needing to record something, but y'all, like, they were looking through my iPad. I just, it was crazy. It was looking through phones, and this went on for like 3 hours that we had to sit there like that. Yep. So I knew then when I saw them searching everything like that, I knew it was serious. But he called and he told me, that it was serious, and he actually thought he could get out. He was like, "Get my lawyer, get my lawyer, get my lawyer, my lawyer, my lawyer. I need a lawyer." And we got the lawyer, and the lawyer was looking at us like, "Okay, well, I'll show up to court, but you know, like what? Ugh, Precious, are you serious? Why did I stay, y'all? I don't know why I stayed. My baby, I really wanted her to have that, like, but God, like, look what she ate now, you know." Like, I just put myself in this control mode. Like, he just knew I was gonna leave. He was expecting me to leave. He wasn't expecting me to stay that long. And I had a point to prove to myself and to him and to, everybody watching, because you gotta understand, like, just imagine you're in this relationship with somebody in a small town, everybody know y'all, and everybody's watching, wondering what's gonna happen next. So it's like, I don't want to look like a failure to my relationship. I don't want to look like I gave up, or I don't want to look like I ran and left him hanging. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a lot of me just trying to make things happen, make things work through and through it all. No matter what, I just want to make everything work. And once he noticed that, that's when things got real. It was like, okay, I know I gotta tell her like this, and she gonna do it like that. A year later, 2017, he started having visits. We could go and see him. I saw him the first time for Valentine's Day in Avals Parish. No, we got married in Avals. I saw him at another jail. He was at a few jails in this time, a few prisons in this time. And I'm gonna show y'all some pictures of us. I would go up there and I would buy food. Um it was 3 hour rides there and back for those 3 years. Like, I dressed my daughter up for Halloween one year and brought her. We went close as we could to Christmas, and then it got to the point where we was just so close, that we started talking about marriage. And I felt like, well, a marriage would really make him feel like this is it, this is secure. He got something to come home to, because the longer he stayed, the more I wanted to hear what was on his mind. What was your next plan? What's your next step for when you get out? And he would laugh a little bit. He would kind of laugh it off, like, kind of like, you know what I'm coming home and do, or who gonna hire me. Some days it'll be like a who gonna hire me type of thing, or he'll have these other goals that he's trying to pursue, like rapping and writing a book and stuff like that. But it's like, do you really have the focus to do that? And it's like, well, you have the focus. I have the focus to do that. And I'm like, you would have to be able to do that on your own as well, because I have goals and dreams too. And that's when things went sour. It's like, oh no, you gonna do this, and unless she's gonna do that, and I'm not gonna let y'all do this because I have these beliefs. I've been reading these books, and this is how my wife is gonna be. And I'm like, I wasn't expecting all of this. I wasn't expecting such a big change. And it's like, well, you with me now, and we about to get married. So I'm like, dang, is this really what he gonna be like? And I'm like, okay, so much time done passed, and I done seen this is what he did here and there. And I'm like, this next step, I don't think I want to make it this far and figure it out. Yo, so I'm sitting here editing this video. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Yo, I'm looking for the pictures from our wedding, and I realized I deleted the pictures. And this is one big reason why this relationship stopped. Like, let me see. Y'all read this. I got papers on you. Like, I'm a puppy. Look what time it was. I'm trying not to put his name. Let me start it over. All right. Let me try. It was stuff like that. It was stuff like that. Like what? I just yo. And this is why I started screenshotting the messages because I didn't want to forget. I had to remember, like, I know I'm not tripping. This is disrespectful. That is disrespectful. And it was just, that was like the cherry on top. Must be the truth. It's time for me to wake my kids up, yo. At that point, when it was him telling me what I was going to have to do and the changes I was going to have to make in my life, holiday changes, you know how everybody, I'm not even gonna speak on anybody's religion, but you know what they do when they get locked up. So it's like wives. I don't participate in that type of stuff. He was gonna tell my child about holidays and why she shouldn't celebrate holidays, and if I would ask him, well, why you didn't send anything for her birthday, he would tell me why he's not sending nothing for her birthday or holidays because he don't believe in that. And I'm like, wow, this is too big of a change. And this is the year we decided to get married. So I went to a big like church, what they call it, like a big revival, and they had big name gospel singers and they were singing and everybody's shouting and I'm just feeling the Holy Spirit, and something was telling me to do what was best for my family, but my mind still was trying to connect him, and my family was my child. So I decided to marry him. He had been talking about getting married, and we talked about it, and I said, okay, we could go ahead and do it. So I took the steps, I did the research, I found out how you do it, and we had to do a counseling session. And the day of counseling, he was like an hour late. And when I tell y'all, the counselor at this place literally gave me a session that I would never, like, that I truly appreciate him for that, because that's probably the reason I even left the marriage. I still got married to him, but that man was warning me, like, baby, I see this happen all the time. This man is not going to be able to, he's not going to be capable of, he is not going to be ready. You will still have so much more work to do. He's not getting home until 4 years after y'all get married. Like, do you understand the amount of work that you have to put in? But me still wearing my happy mask, I'm like, yeah, I know the work. It's fine. I got it. I'm a psychology major. I can do it. I can do it. It's fine. Like, and this man is like, he's not here yet. That's a sign. I'm like, it is. It is a sign. But I'm ignoring it. I'm ignoring all the signs. And when he walked in, it was a blank. It was like a blank emotion. I'm like, we're here in this room, close, in touching distance. We not around the offices, we not in the cafeteria, and you're blank. You look like you are afraid. It was just an afraid vibe. We did the counseling session. He didn't say much. He didn't have much to say. I gave him his ring. And it was just a weird vibe, and I was so happy because I just wanted people to know that I was taken. I got tired of guys looking at me. I wanted to wear my ring. This is a promise ring, by the way, that Bae bought me, but I wanted to just wear my ring and be happy. And it was a weird vibe, and I ignored it. I didn't want to think about it. I'm like, he's just sad. He can't be here for that. It's this way or whatever. So the day comes, December 5th, 2015, that we get married, and I have this dress. My friend bought me the dress. Well, she was selling clothes at the time, and she ordered a dress for me. I bought me some heels. Like a 3-inch heel that was super, super high, too high to be walking around somebody's prison. My light going down. And I just remember, like, the night before we had an argument, he told me not to come, and I should have listened. He told me not to come. His mom told me not to come before I went, and I still did it. I picked her up. I picked up my mom, and they kind of was just like trying not to talk about what happened the night before and just kind of just take the ride and do this. We all looked really, really nice, and I remember walking into up to the church and like almost collapsing. I had stood up for a minute and I already have like an ankle problem. I twist my ankle, but on heels, it's something about the ball of my foot after a while. Like my ankles will give out. Y'all know your body go kind of numb, your legs go kind of numb, y'all. And I'm walking and I'm like, Lord, I'm sorry. Like I knew I was doing wrong. I knew to this day I remember that feeling, and I'm walking like, Lord, please just get me there. Don't drop me. Just get me through this. I'm here now. I can't turn around now, but yes, I could have. Nobody could have did me anything. I should have, but I made it that far, so I had to follow through. So they had just had somebody got married. They were leaving out, and my mama, being a mom she is, love my mama, yo. She was like, "Well, where's the band? What's? I see y'all got instruments and microphones. Somebody come sing." Yo, I blanked out. I don't know what that man sung, because my ex dude looked so scared. Dude was so nervous. Dude was just over it. He couldn't believe this was happening. If y'all see his face expression in that picture, I wish I could show y'all his expression. I could only show y'all the picture. I can't show y'all his face. But it was just like, oh my God. She really did this. And I'm like, yep, I did it. Oh well. And yeah, y'all. So we got married that day and we had the visitation afterwards, and it was still, he was just real blank, and my mom was talking to him and he didn't he didn't say anything of substance. It wasn't a, we had a conversation, and we went home. After we got married, he went full force with what I have to do, what he want me to do. I graduated college, and that same year, and like it was just a weird vibes. He down talked me and told me I was getting big when I was at my good job, my career that I was working hard to get. He told me that I couldn't handle it. My hair was falling out, and it was, but I was stressed, So I told him like I can't do this no more. He had told me a bunch of stuff, y'all, a bunch of stuff that I just couldn't ignore. It was just, he said it was a joke and he didn't mean it, and I couldn't ignore those things. So that was when we decided to split up. I'm like, I think it's time. And he was like, okay. He wasn't happy with it because I was the person that did everything for him. So he did try to get me to stay because I make the phone calls. I, make the moves, get him into classes. I call people for him to make sure he have what he need. I'm like, well, your mama got to take over. I can't do it no more. So I would talk to him here and there after that, just to tell him like how I was feeling. Like, okay, I'm happy being single. I'm about to start dating. We're separated. We're gonna do a divorce. And this is in January, yo. This is in January. And by October I was fully ready to date, and I did. And then that's when I met Shelton, and the rest is history from now on out, y'all. It's been over 5 years. And I'm happy with the decision I made. I'm happy with the time I spent with him, that I tried so that I could at least tell my daughter I tried. Even if she look at me crazy, I know I tried. I did that. I went through that. I ate that. I took my L. I went as far as getting married in a prison, literally in a church at the prison, y'all. This is crazy. And I'm so happy to have this story over with. I thought I was gonna have to stretch it out, but I found the best way to compact it into one ending, y'all. So y'all could kind of read between the lines of other things that went on. But yeah, I don't wanna go into too deep of detail of how we argued after or whatever happened, a tit for tat. It was some of those things, you know, but that don't even matter. I look past that. You know, you might want to know how. Prayer. I stayed to myself. I focused completely on myself. I wasn't trying to go out and party. I wasn't yeah, I went out and did. I went out sometimes, a couple times, and then I got pregnant, and I had to focus on my new baby, because I got pregnant right after that. Like right after I met Shelton, we had a baby, so we had to do things and get through things, and it wasn't nothing compared to the vibes that the way I was treated. I was treated like he wanted me, like he wanted to move forward, and we made it all the way to Texas since. You know, I didn't want to live in Louisiana, and he moved, he left, and we're here. You know, so that speak volumes alone. And we growing together. The kids love each other. We make sure they close and connected. My daughter, she loves Shelton. She loves her dad. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want to go and put all of her business out in the streets, because her business is her business, mine is mine. But I truly appreciate y'all for listening to this story. Let me get this off my chest on this channel. I just really hope that it inspires somebody, and you could make the right decision for your life moving forward, or find some way to cope with whatever you went through, if it was similar. So yep, if you have any questions, feel free anything to comment down below. If y'all want to make a different channel with a different name, and it could be like an anonymous thing, you could definitely do that as well. To comment whatever you want to comment. Y'all got a red dragonfly over there. Is that a butterfly? It's a butterfly. The butterflies out here so beautiful in this season. I never saw so many different color butterflies. Yeah, y'all, so now I can finally get back to my other content. I'm so excited to just post for y'all. So I hope y'all like all of our vlogs and playlists and stuff like that, and come back for some more videos. Like, comment, subscribe, share this with a friend. See y'all in the next video. Bye.